Oh yeah, the next day, y'all, get ready for this part of the story. It's one of the heaviest stories I'm going to tell today. Big shout out to Boris Kojo and his beautiful wife Nicole. They had a group out there as well, and big shout out to JB Smooth, Chris Spencer and his beautiful wife Vanessa and their kids. It was so many amazing people, and we were invited to be a part of their trip to Cape Coast. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what Cape Coast is, they call it a castle, and this is where slaves were captured, brought to, tortured, raped, and some were killed. And the strongest made their way to islands and to countries that they had no idea they were going to, where they would have no family. So anyway, we're on this journey. We're going out there. It's 4 SUVs, 2 bus loads. We're weaving in and out of traffic like it was Grand Theft Auto. It was the scariest shit in my life. Okay, we driving on the opposite side of the street. We're oncoming traffic. The police weaving in and out. Now, mind you, we talking about 2 buses or with the 4 SUVs. I'm talking about these motherfuckers. I'm like, I'm scared for the people on the bus. They seem taller than normal, and I just thought the motherfucker might tip over. That's how much it was in and out. So big shout out to the drivers. You were definitely trained with special ops intent to take somebody of importance somewhere and get them there on time, because we made it safe, and I'm here to tell a story. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to shout out our tour guide. When we got there, the gravity of the grounds were present. And all of a sudden I see this guy in this white outfit with the white crown cap on, and his name is Rabbi Colhane, and he's actually from New York City. He's been in Ghana over 30 years, and he was drawn there to tell this story, and he does tours all the time. So when you go to Ghana and you go to Cape Coast, just tap in with Rabbi Colhane. He was the most prophetic speaker I had heard on my trip. He spoke about the history of the castle as if he was there. He painted verbal pictures that connected us spiritually, from showing us the male dungeons and the female dungeons. The male dungeon was actually under a church. I mean, do you not see the hypocrisy in that? Do you not see the evilness in that? You're upstairs praising God and talking about the good of man and what the Bible teaches you, but downstairs you're torturing humans. I mean, he told us this one story about they and showed us where they threw the food down into the dungeon, and the strongest survived. I mean, it was 150 people in this room, probably no bigger than your living room. And so you can imagine there's no laying down. If you want to lay down, you got to kneel down into a ball damn near, and be pressed up against someone. So you can imagine you're starving, you're fucking freezing, and food's being thrown down, right? And in this dungeon, man, they had like a little divot in the thing, I guess, where feces and blood and fluid would roll down when it rained, or water would roll down when it rained. And we were actually standing on, remains, or what were remains, because the floor was covered with hay, human remains, feces, all these things. So it was this black soot everywhere, and it was unbelievable to witness. I mean, you hear these stories, you hear the atrocities, but to hear the story and to be in the dungeons, and then in the female dungeons, they had windows so that these fucking evil men could come pick someone to torture and rape. And it was just unbelievable to be there and feel that energy, because you hear the stories, you hear, the history of our ancestors, right? But being there just had another sense of affirmation, right? People always ask why I'm so confident. People always ask why I'm so resilient, why I'm so strong, why I can weather certain things. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I come from those people. I come from those people. You come from those people. And it was a sight to behold. And this leads me to number 4 on how we have no excuse but to succeed in 24 and beyond list. Number 4, you have a responsibility to your ancestors to be the best version of yourself. All right? You have a responsibility. This is no longer an option for us. This is for your family, for your legacy, for our ancestors. We have to show up as the best versions of ourselves. And that doesn't mean, you know, you're going to be able to do things you're not capable of doing. Everyone's not meant to do everything. But being the best version of yourself, what is that? Have you dissected what your strengths are? Have you dissected the best version of you? You've had to see it in play. You've had to be a witness of your own gifts. Those are the things we have to tap into more and more as we begin 2024.